Alright guys, hey, we're here to talk to you about some of the common things that you guys might see on your trail cameras. Some of the guys have pointed out some things and asked questions over the years to us. One of the big ones that we see that's in the wild population, and we see it occasionally in our animals, is warts. And a lot of people are worried about them and stuff like that, and they're wondering what causes them and stuff like that. I can't tell you exactly what causes them. It could be a virus. I'm not real sure. I'm not up to date on that stuff. All I know is normally you see them going into springtime. You'll see them all summer long. They might grow some, and they can bother the animals. I'm not going to say that they won't. I've seen them where they'll hang like over an eye or something like that, and that does bother the animal. But usually come late fall and in the winter time, they will actually fall off. And then that animal can get them again, and sometimes they don't get them again. It just depends on each animal and what's going on with it. So that's one of the big ones that we see. Another one that we see is actually called fusobacteria, or lumpy jaw, kind of is what a lot of people call it. And it actually will kind of swell up one, if not both sides of their jaw, and it'll kind of look like they got a big old pack of cud in their mouth, and it can actually deform the bone, and it'll actually make it like a honeycomb. If you know what honeycomb looks like, it'll look just like that if it gets bad enough. Most of the time when they have it, it just ends up like popping, and it'll pop and all the infection will come out, and normally it'll dry on up and it won't be a problem. We have the ability to do antibiotics to where that way it doesn't even get bad, and normally that takes care of it. So that's one of the great things about being able to manage the animals like we do. There's another thing that you can do is that we've noticed with like the fusobacteria is a lot of times what causes that is what we feel like is even a scratch to the gum line. It'll let that infection get in, and so something, you wouldn't think it, but even like a whole corn, them having to crack that, it can cause a sharp edge, and as they're eating it can cut that gum. And that's one of the big things that I feel like it actually helps us is if you watch our feed video, and we got it kind of a link attached up above here that you can watch, and you'll see that our feed, we hammer mill our feed, and everything in it's real small. I ain't saying there ain't sharp edges, but it's a lot easier for them to be able to digest that and not cause all the problems from eating a bigger processed stuff and being able to it cracking and coming down into the gum line and cutting there. So and another thing that we do see some problems with, or have seen problems with in the past, and I'd like to say we have probably eliminated 90% of this problem, is ticks. Ticks is a big problem with deer, especially in the summertime. You'll see on your trail cam video photos and stuff like that during the summertime, their ears can be just plumb loaded. It's disgusting to see them, and then just know that they're miserable. I've seen them before, their ears be completely just sagging beside their head, just completely covered. There's a couple things you can do. One thing, it works, but it's not a fix-all for sure, is you can buy some like or paint rollers, and like they have like what they call back rubbers chemical that you can put on it. It's got a permethrin base to it or something like that, and you can apply it to those paint rollers if you got a feeder or something like that. And you can put the paint rollers just outside the feeder to where that way they have to come in contact with them, and that does help reduce the ticks. It's something we used to have on our feeders. We probably still have some on there just because we haven't taken them off. We don't use them anymore, just because mainly we got real lucky about, I don't know if there was probably been 8 to 10 years ago. I know it was when I first started working for Donald. He started on a really good vitamin and mineral pack. The company that we was buying it from, the chemist behind it, he told us, he said give it 2 years, you're going to see your tick population basically reduced to non-existent. You're going to walk around your farm without tick spray. And I do to this day. Is it something I probably should still wear just in case I get one on me? Yeah. But honestly, I can walk around on most days and I will leave this property after 10 or 12 hours here and I don't have a tick on me. And that's a lot to say, because when I first started working for Donald, I'd go home and I'd have 15-20 ticks on me, no problem. And now with the vitamin and mineral, and this is, if you ever talk to Donald about his vitamin and mineral, he's very passionate about it, and this is the reason why, is because it basically has eliminated our tick population. And not only that, the antlers are extremely hard, which makes them less brittle, so that way when they're fighting, they're not breaking those antlers off as bad. Because sometimes if you see in the wild population or on some people's, on some of the deer you'll see a broke tine here or there. If everything's just right, a lot of times that it'll harden them antlers up just right at that time of the year that they're hardening them up, and that's a big part of that is your vitamin and mineral, we feel like. Another thing that we've seen in the past, and we see it in a few of our animals, 1 or 2 maybe each winter, is it's like a mite or a some lice or something like that they get on their hair coat, and it'll actually make them lose some of their hair, maybe even a good portion of their hair. It might be the size of a plate type situation, and normally it's towards the rear. I've seen it from the rear to midsection, and them lose a decent amount of hair. We've done treatments of pour on Ivamex and stuff like that to take care of it. Is it something that's absolutely necessary that you got to take care of? No, not necessarily, unless it was to get into a bad situation or a real bad case of it. In the wintertime, it could cause the animal to get sick, I guess you could say. But it's something that we do see. You see it in the wild population occasionally, and here and there in certain areas. And most of the time that's going to go away come summertime. That as their new coat comes in, the hair comes in, and it goes away on its own. You won't see it in the summertime. So that's a lot of the common things that we see. And if you guys have anything that you've seen on your trail cameras or even in videos before, and you kind of like to know what we think about it, that doesn't mean we know everything, but we'll try to see what we can't find out. If we can't find out about it, or if we don't know about it, we'll let you know either way. So needless to say, give us your feedback and what you guys would like to know about, and follow us on Facebook, and if you wouldn't care to subscribe to our YouTube page if you like what you see.